Good afternoon.
You almost caught me on a big yawn.
Oh,
I'm just actually at the Hilton Hotel in down by the airport there.
okay.
They're having their first annual Red River Métis Childcare Conference.
Oh, nice.
Packed house, packed. No
Good.
room, no people standing room only kind of concept. And good to see. And of course, the Minister Chartrand's there, and the Minister, and also Minister of Finance and spokeswoman Anita Campbell was there. And it's just packed out regarding our daycare centers and childcare centers that are being built across Manitoba, and dealing with all the many hundreds of employees. There's probably over 100 employees there just working with the childcare centers now. And of course, they're very proud to be working with our Métis childcare centers. And we're going to probably end up with about 300 to 350 employees at the end. And because we're going to build 7 more daycare centers.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's just so far we spent already 42 million in building, and of course developing the program. And so, but it's really it's helping so many families already. That 7 of them are open, and so they're already full. And so, there's not a doubt the need is there. I think there's 10,000 vacancies that are needed in Winnipeg or Manitoba. And the province has a big task ahead of them, and so does Canada. But we're lowering that limit by building, of course, more and more centers to help out so many families. It now takes 2 families to be working. I talked about that in my speech this morning. Usually the mom would be. It's always I would say the solid that takes care of the house, takes care of the kids, and really molds the children to the future, and sets the pathway for the future where the child will be heading to, and the characteristics of the child. So these daycare centers, like I said, the childcare centers, employees, if they remember, you're going to have that child under your care probably 8 hours a day. So you're going to be molding that child. It's important that we understand the culture and the pride and the respect that's going to be driven into the child and while they're in care under your watch. The parents know that their goal of how they want to raise their child is still built within the concept of our childcare center. So it's good to listen to other speakers, and the minister was there for education for the province, and Mr. Nello Altamare, he's the education early childhood learning minister. And so I missed his speech. I was a few minutes late. They started at 8:30 this morning on a Saturday.
Wow.
So I know. I told them, "What's wrong with you people?" He said, "Well, we open our child care centers at 6. So 8:30 is nothing for them." So so I tried to sleep in this Saturday morning, but that didn't happen this day. But anyway, it's a good conference, and I kudos to all of them that are Bernadette Smith is speaking in fact at 1 o'clock. She's the Minister of course of Housing, Homelessness, and Addiction. She's the keynote speaker. She's arriving here at 12 o'clock speaking. And so, as I said, it's a first ever. But remember, I spoke on the air at one time, and when Aboriginal Head Start program was created in Canada, and that program, I still give it kudos today. I give it all praises that it should receive, because it is a brilliant move by Canada and the pathway to start developing Aboriginal Head Start centers, so young mothers and families can take their kids to the program, and they can then hopefully pursue a career, training, and get developed, get jobs. So that program really works. The sad part of it in Canada, the Aboriginal Head Start program was not allowed for the Métis. And that's a sad part of our history in the concept of being left out and pushed out. No different in health. You heard me talk on the show, First Nation Inuit Health Branch.
Yeah.
We're not opposed to First Nation getting health care or Inuit, but it's just so sad that Canada still has that racial discriminatory policy. And the same thing happened during Aboriginal Head Start's evolution in our country. And it was given to friendship centers, and then from there it was given to the First Nations, but not for us. So again, now this child care is ours, and I tell you, we're doing our best to run the best agencies we can and have the best salaries we can, best benefits we can. We echo that loud and clear to our numerous employees that are there today, and also we have visitors from First Nations, child care centers, and other places. So the packed house of different priorities and different issues for them. But again, it's just good to see an interaction of all these people coming together and talking about children in the future. So anyways, as I said, We created 155 new jobs already, and we're going to create probably another 150 more. So if you want a career in that field and you're Métis, if you're not Métis, you still want a career in that field, definitely come and see us, and we'll be hiring and continue to hire. And we're trying to build them as we get them in through the classroom. So it takes 18 months to get a certification to get to be a child care worker. These courses are being run through us with partnership with the colleges. And after 18 months, you have guaranteed a job, and a permanent job. So you don't have to only be Métis. If you're First Nation, non-Indigenous, reach out to us. And as I said, there's no way you can fill it with 300 Métis child care workers. So we'll be hiring different cultures and different ethnic groups. But again, our push will be understanding Métis culture and Indigenous culture is going to be a priority for us to learn. And I know First Nations are doing their own thing, but we'll work hopefully in unison in some form or fashion in the future. The rest of the week, last week, from Monday to Thursday, I was in Ottawa. I was there to meet regarding our treaty. The meeting went very, very well. I also met with the Conservative Party and some of their MPs and talked about the treaty, showed them the copy of the treaty, what's inside of it, and what it's actually written in treaty, black and white. There's no unknowns. Anybody could read it and make a clarity on it. We're waiting for the finalization from Justice. It's just a trickling of a few commas, I think, and a few periods. Nothing major. And once that's done, then hopefully we could put it on our website. But really, as I said, we have nothing to hide. The treaty is just something of a carry through from 1870 that should have been there. 154 years in the making, and so we're looking forward to the meeting with some NDP MPs. I've already met with some senators. I've still got a lot more senators to educate, and at the same time, a lot more MPs, because I want this thing to run smoothly. I don't want no challenges when it comes before Parliament. As you know, Bill 53 has caused a major hurdle, a major challenge. But let's understand, it's not Saskatchewan, it's not Alberta. I don't see no strong opposition about Alberta or Saskatchewan. It's all about Ontario, that those people are not Métis. And I agree 100% with Ontario, First Nation chiefs, and that they are not Métis, not us anyway, for sure. There's no question. You go back 300 years, they're not our people. There's no historical connection. But yet they take our history, they take our culture, and they're using it and saying it's theirs. So, and they're misleading Canadian public, they're misleading the world, and they're going to try, of course, on top of that, attain our rights. And so steal our rights from us. So, and have the ability, as we've been suffering and still suffering today, waiting for our turn in Confederation where we fit in, and to find ourselves, these guys are coming through the back door and through the Métis Nation of Ontario, and all of a sudden they're going to see. But let's not forget, which I find so puzzling, Alberta president, there's a new president there. They still support MNO. They still support these new people. Glenn, Saskatchewan, he's the president. He knows this. He knows this file. He still supports Ontario, and they're going to outnumber Saskatchewan. And in the future, let's understand this, and this legacy Glenn will leave behind, and Audrey Patra and this new president, is that they'll be outnumbered by Ontario one day, and Ontario's going to demand more funding away from the prairies, and they're going to get it. So remember what you're giving away. They're giving away people, the Saskatchewan and Alberta, they're giving away the future resources of the next generations that are coming, and our young people, our students, are people looking for homes, and are people looking for jobs. They're giving that all the way to these newcomers, and as I said, they're going to be coming by tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands in the future. So people in Saskatchewan, it amazes me, they're not asking their president, "What the hell are you doing?" or Alberta. So, but that's the problem, and unfortunately, we have a very large delegation of citizens from all across the West and into the United States, into the East. But these are Red River citizens who have moved and are working. Or, I'll give you an example. We have nearly 1,000 in British Columbia that have now gotten their citizenship with us. We've got nearly 1,000 in Alberta, and Saskatchewan are close to 500. Ontario is over 800. But these are not just new people. These are actually people of the Red River who can prove their heritage and connection at home, who happen to move to Ontario to work, or fell in love and moved that way, or whatever purpose moved that way. So we have our citizens, as I say, by thousands coming in from all over, including the United States, and they want to come home. They want to come home to the Red River Métis, and they want to be part of the nation of the Red River Métis. But how these Saskatchewan and Alberta can give away all of this to Ontario is beyond me. It's scary. It's puzzling, and unfortunately, that's a matter that the citizens that belong to the MNS and MNO, the MNS and MNA and MNBC, who supports Ontario too, have to address to their people. Why did you give away our culture and identity to somebody that's not us? So that's a big issue. In fact, it leads to a discussion. We had a meeting yesterday with the Mont Chartrand ambassador, along with Will Goodon, who's leading the charge on this issue for us. And we're having a conference coming up in May. That'll be the identity theft of not only a people, but of a nation, not as a citizen. But, you hear that all over the place, that all of a sudden somebody became a judge, became a teacher, became a professional career by saying that they're Métis, and they never were. And so they lied their way through it. Sometimes they say they're First Nation, and they got in. And were able to attain and utilize a culture that's not theirs, but they advance their own personal careers. So that conference is going to take place in May. I'll give our people more heads up on that as we move forward. I also had a good discussion with the mayor. I was on CJOB and CBC and others speaking on the change that's coming. Downtown Portage is going to change, and it's about time. If you look at downtown Portage, we've invested a lot of money as a Métis government. We put about $60 million downtown already. We own, of course, the Heritage Center. We're putting over $32 million in repairs in the Heritage Center, which we plan to open by 2026. We also bought some other capital assets on 280 Portage, and we're almost bought the Bell and MTS, but they're vacant. And downtown needs all the help it can right now because it's a dying entity. And if you don't have a downtown in a city, you've got a big problem. Yeah. You're nobody wants to come after, and you have visitors coming here for business. They'll leave very quickly, and so it's a great loss to all Manitobas, not just Winnipeggers. So the work I seen the blueprint. Lauren is representing us there, Pelche, of course, that works for us. Mm-hmm. And I've seen the breakdown. It's really beautiful. I can't believe the design and the look it's going to have now, a new look. And if it takes an extra 30 seconds for the light to change, then so be it. So what's 30 seconds somebody's life versus never making change in the entire downtown dying? So it'll be like those Western movies where you see tumbleweeds rolling down of a dead Western town. So clearly, I support the mayor and what you're doing, and I look forward to our day when we can showcase to the world the most stunning and most advanced heritage museum center in the world. So, and the people that are working on it right now, I'm telling you, I'm so proud of the team that's working on this. It's so well designed. It's going to be a breathtaker.
Can't wait.
So, me too. I seen a small image of it. Mm-hmm. I would love to. It is stunning. And same thing with Mayor Scott Gillingham. He can't wait for it to be there, but he's in dialogue with us, keeping us on the know-how what's happening downtown. So given that we're big investors down there, that like Richardson, of course, they're being spoken to, and other players downtown. Mm-hmm. That's what the Métis government now is being spoken to and saying, this is how it affects you, this is the impact it may have on you, and here's the good, and here's the bad, and the good outweighs the bad. So anyway, so that conference we're looking at is in May at 23rd, 24th, 25th. I've just seen a copy of it in front of me here. So put that in your calendars, locals who are listening. We're going to bring one for local to this conference. But it's scheduled on May 23rd, 24th, 25th. And as I told Naomi, I'll bring this more on the show as we move forward. I also want to thank Chief Larson Anderson. I had a good meeting with him at my office. And, of course, we're talking about future economic opportunities, how we can support each other, how do we stand in helping each other on initiatives as we move forward. I have great respect for Mr. Anderson, and I look forward to him. And he's got a very strong economic mind. He's got a vision of economics, and it falls right into my vision. As you know, I push very hard the economic aspect of our future as Métis people. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's going to. I also raised the issue with him regarding commercial fisheries. I still am having my team follow up on this because I do know that Canada is talking about potentially tendering out freshwater fish and marketing for sale. And my worries, of course, is that the Métis government nor the First Nations government, none of us will be able to purchase it or tender for it because we don't have the infrastructure. But there are infrastructures such as Ontario which has a big fishing company, they could come along and buy it, and next thing you know, we lost it all. And it'd be Métis First Nation fishermen who have been investing in fresh water for decades upon decades and decades that would see it being ripped from underneath their skidoos and their bombardiers and their frozen feet and given away to some other Ontario business. So I made it very clear to the government that this better not happen. We need to sit down with the Métis First Nations, and we will come up with a plan of how we move forward and what's the best solution for the commercial fishery. But it also reminds me of some discussions I plan to have with Natural Resource Minister, and I know fishermen are listening to you right now. They're very upset. For example, the quotas in the lakes that are being imposed on winter fishermen. On top of that, they're shutting the fish lakes down early, and then they're imposing a bunch of crazy rules. I was reading some of the rules that, like, these guys are making it up. These are bureaucrats for the government. The government's allowing it to happen. But what they say is they consult with fishermen. And when we ask the question, which fishermen? Well, we had a meeting. With what? A couple of fishermen showed up somewhere. You had a chat with them, walked away, and created a policy. That's absolutely not going to happen. And I'm raising that with the minister as soon as I can. We're having a discussion. I've raised a message already to my minister, to the NDP minister, that this is a serious matter for us, and we want to take on this issue and this challenge where you're setting up also. I'll give you an example. If you can go set up your nets and put your nets at the beginning of the year or during any time during the year, you've got to advise the Natural Resource Office within, I think, 72 hours. I don't have it in front of me. Within 72 hours, you've got to advise the minister department where your nets are. Okay, so you do that. Okay, so be it. But it's a bureaucratic problem. And then secondly, if you decide, well, there's slush here, fishing is not good, I'm going to move them. You have 72 hours again to advise the conservation officer moving your nets. Now, tell me which farmer in this country writes to them or contacts Natural Resources. Oh, by the way, I'm going to use my tractor on this field today. I'm going to drive it over here. Oh, by the way, this is who's driving it, because according to the way fishing is done, the fisher's license, fishermen have to be standing at the ice hole in order for them to get the fish. You tell me which farming, which industry has that kind of archaic rules. Right. And that's when we're going to be talking to the NDP government. They better fix this because it's causing economic harm to our people and to the First Nations, to the Métis people. So we will be pushing this agenda very hard, and if we have to use courts on our side, we will. We have to chase the natural resource officers off our ice, we will, because these people, are finally getting some fish now, finally making some money. They've been starving all these years, and now we're finally at a point where we're starting to make some resources. And so it's very important that we get the government quickly acting on this and quit letting these bureaucrats run the government in the way they're creating rules and claiming to have consulted the fishermen, which they have not. Right. And I heard the fishermen loud and clear in my travels, whether I'm in Chartrand, whether I'm in Duck Bay, whether I'm in any of these communities, including the same issues that Chief Larson and I spoke about. Chief Anderson from Nolly-House is saying the same thing. They're very concerned on the rules that are being applied and being pushed against us and impacting our fishermen. So again, we make up about 90% of the fishermen and in the province owns the fishing licenses, and out of that, over 50% of those people are Métis. So the Métis and First Nations dominate the commercial fishing industry, and most of the fish come from Manitoba. Alberta shut down. Saskatchewan is near its end of survival, and Northwest Territories is the last other fishing component that's there. So Manitoba is really the player now in the freshwater fish. So either the NDP take this seriously, or we're going to have a big scrap with the NDP. So I'll make that very clear. So again, as we move forward, I also had a chance to see swearing-in ceremony of citizen, our MMF citizen, Brian Bowman. He was very proud to reference he was a citizen of the Red River government, and it was really well laid out, and I was very, I laughed quite a bit there listening to Chief Justice Joel. He gives some good shots and as an introduction to some comic kind of display, and he was smooth and quick-willed at Justice Joel, and so did all the chief of the provincial judge courts and other lawyers and others that spoke really were quick with it. They gave him all little shots to remind him that he's still just a man, and that not to forget that where he comes from, basically in the concept, but also making jokes about just things that are would recognize him that yes, he was a mayor, and but he's no longer mayor. So quit lobbying as a mayor, they told him. So, those are jokes. And anything like Chief Justice said, well, you know what? He's some of his chief of staff, I think. so anyway, he forgets he's no longer a mayor. So went on, but they also talked about his credentials and his expertise in the field he's in. So that was important to be at. And Will got on stage behind. I had to come back to the office. I did interviews on a few subjects, and one of them was on the departing of one of our prime ministers of Canada, of course, the ancient prime minister, of course, Right Honourable Brian Mulroney. I have great respect for the man. There was some controversies near the end of his retirement days and leaving into the single out of the political life, we'll call it, and he caught in some controversies. But if you look at what he was able to do and the respect he gave the Métis was very strong. You recognize the Métis, the Red River. You look at the actual reading of Riel, but recognize the father of Manitoba, read during his time as Prime Minister by Joe Clark. They read and recognized Riel as the father of Manitoba and one of the founders and fathers of Confederation in Canada. So it was really well crafted. Actually, I'll put it on our website for our citizens to look at. It was well crafted, well stated by the Right Honourable Brian Mulroney. So I showed great respect for the Métis. He came and met. I was sitting on the table when he came in '91. And come and met with the MMF, and he was very supportive of us at the time. And I've never forgotten that. And I've echoed that to conservative colleagues out in Ottawa and throughout different times. I've echoed them. Why don't you ever respect the Red River Métis? I don't understand that. Well, we got the respect from Trudeau with Paul Martin. Chrétien, so and so. Chrétien was not one of the big supporters. I didn't have greatest, I would say, respect. I'll use the phrase, unfortunately, to Chrétien. But when it comes to Métis issues, I'm talking about. But when you look at Mulroney, he was there for us. Paul Martin was there for us. Joe Clark was there for us. And you look at today, Justin Trudeau was there for us. So you know, that's really important for people listening, because that makes change. Like this morning, I also spoke about First Nation Inuit Outbrand. Why is it there's such racism and discrimination that we're not entitled to health services, yet we pay taxes by the billions and billions, not millions, and yet we are not entitled to the same services as any Canadian in this country, or not entitled to the same services as First Nation in this country, even though we wanted Supreme Court of Canada in 2016. So when you look at all these things that are occurring, I think it's important to recognize that. So I'm going to close off with some comments here on birthdays. I got to get that done, or I'll get in trouble. But let me say a big thank you first to Buggy and to Bert Lindsay. One of our houses in Cranberry had a leak, a water leak, and they out and fixed it. And they just were working on it this morning, and it's done and fixed, I believe. Thank you, Bert. Thank you, Buggy. On also birthday now, and there's quite a bit of them. We have a happy birthday going to Kim Venn and that St. Madeleine local. Happy it's on Tuesday, February 27th. Happy birthday. And they're actually having a Vinscart annual family Winterfest today. So they're sponsoring the Bannock and Cook Over the Fire contest.
Oh, nice.
Starting at 1:30. And I don't know if you ever tried it. You ever tried making that?
I haven't. No, not over the fire, no.
Oh, my gosh. In my language, I mean, well, you know, good.
Steaks.
Anyway, so what I've done it, I won contest, tea boiling, bannock making, and wrapped around a stick. You cook it, you got to heat it, then you got to drink the hot tea, but you got to also make the fire. So it's good fun. It's a lot of fun. Also, happy 90th birthday going to Gustave Bedon in St. Eustache. Wednesday, February 28th. Happy birthday, 90th birthday. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Happy 39th birthday to Robert Conway, the Elsie Bears Kitchen, celebrating his birthday Sunday, March 3rd. Happy 30th birthday to Dustin Tanson, senior policy analyst, who is celebrating his birthday in Monday, March 4th. So I got to go buy him a present for crying out loud, fucking money. Happy 25th birthday to Cara Deleron. I have to buy her a present. Now, Beyond Borders coordinator, who's celebrating her birthday on Monday, March 4th. Happy birthday to John Coutras, Red River Métis Business Development Corporation, who's celebrating his birthday Monday, March 4th. And happy 46th birthday to Desiree Gillespie, Métis Child and Family Community Services. I met her, in fact, Desiree, on Thursday, I believe. Or is that Wednesday? Wednesday, I believe. Wednesday, I met her. In Toronto, they caught me by surprise. I was there for a meeting in the evening, and on my way home, and me and Dustin met Desiree and Shannon, I forgot. And so, anyway, happy birthday going to Daniel Danielson is Buggy's boy, Thursday 18 on Sunday, March 3rd. 14. Well, I said 13. Anyway, here's this woman. She's bothering me, and Naomi, come pick her up for me. Yeah,
No way.
She points at 14, and it's okay, but it's actually 13. So she said, mind her beeswax, right? Let me do my job. Tell her, Naomi. Please tell her.
No.
Tell her.
No way. I'm scared of her.
Don't be scared of her. Happy belated at the birthday to Ken Danielson, who's celebrating happy. Actually, Ken is doing a little bit better, at least, in his health. I do worry about Ken.
Yeah.
He celebrated his birthday last week, and he had some challenges with some lighting at his house, and I already instructed our team to look at that, Kenny, so you don't have to worry about it. We got to take care of our elders. So with that being said, I'll say goodbye to everybody. Thanks to the elders for the guidance and the youth, and look forward to summer. Richard's out here too, so his camp. We may have to have a delay on the hockey sports camp, but we still have a program, so it'll still come. But the renovations that are taking place and the permits is what's hurting us. To get the permits is taking a while.
Mm-hmm.
They want to start repairs on our sports camp out in the woodlands, but the culture camp is all ready for opening probably in spring and so forth in the Duck Mountain. So, and then again, don't forget we have a great speaker coming today. If people get a chance to come by, you have one of the most outstanding speakers from the NDP government, Bernadette Smith, and so she's probably going to wow the crowd. I've heard her speak before, and she's a dynamite. So she's one of our proud ministers, and I look forward to hearing her. I'll go listen to her, and if you want me to boo, Naomi, I'll boo. Or you want me to clap?
I want you to clap.
Okay, I'll clap.
I love Bernadette.
No, she's a great speaker. She's going to definitely do her part, and she's going to be a terrific minister as she moves forward. So with that being said, we'll talk to you, everybody, next Saturday, and take care. And stand strong, stand proud, and believe yourself, believe Métis. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.